All right, everybody, this will be a quick one here. Just touch on a couple things there I was talking about in the other one. So this will be warning to all politicians. I'm running for president 2024, part 94 C, something like that, or B. Anyhow, like I was talking about the Greek mythology, the guy rolling the rock up and down the hill, or up it and then it falling down, him having to do it again. If you want to look at it, there's plenty of ways you can look at that, and in some cases maybe you should never start pushing the rock up the hill, like with materialism. And I know that the myth is, it was his punishment for something, but I think there's more to it than that, and there's other ways you can look at it, and it ties into other religions and stuff too. So maybe like materialism, keeping up with the Joneses, always having to have things of this world. You're never gonna achieve happiness. There'll never be enough. There's always going to be that one other thing you have to have. So it's like I was just talking about, these really nice Gibson guitars in the previous one there I'm thinking about buying. Now, I'm not a person that's often gone out and spent a great deal of money on myself. Unfortunately, it might have been better that I had and bought some really nice things and held on to them, other than the bullshit I spent on my money on in my youth and stuff. Which I'm telling young folks out there right now, be smart with your money. Get a savings account going, get invested, and that's why I talk about taxes a lot. There's a lot we could do for ourselves if the government wasn't sucking up every single dollar we work for, or practically every dollar. What do you get out of bed to go to work for in the morning? For your family, for yourself, to do better for yourself, or for the government to take it? Right now, they're about 25% of the time you go to work, if not more. The first 3-4 months of the year is going to pay taxes. If you're making a certain amount, there's a lot of people don't even pay any taxes, which, they could at least pay $10, something, Anyhow, so if you're trying to be satisfied, material things and stuff, maybe you should never even start pushing that rock up the hill. And you can look at that, not just materialism, but other things, causes, this and that. And that's I want to ask the people out there carrying the water for Black Lives Matter and Antifa and all this and everything out in the streets. Like I said before, they're collecting lots of money. You're getting the loot from your looting. You're getting some new Nikes, this and that, which that girl says, you're going to use for food and this and that. See, a lot of people are going to use just to get cash to buy drugs or buy something else. So, why are you carrying the water for these people? Have you stopped to think about it? And I'll throw Trump in the mix here. You hear all these people are vehement. They hate Trump. If Trump was black and a Democrat, and he had won office, and he had done everything that he has done since he's taken office, policy-wise, every single thing, would you still hate him? I'm asking you to look at the meat and potatoes. Why is all this, and why are all these people trying to put the blame on Trump for everything under the sun? It's politics. Look at China virus, Corona, whatever you want to call it. He puts in a ban, all this and everything. Nancy Pelosi saying, oh my God, this is racism. Come to Chinatown. All these things. He's going too far. Same thing when he, the way he dealt with Korea. Oh, he's being too soft on the guy. He's going to talk to him and all this and everything. Then when he needed to be tough, he's going to start World War III. Same thing with Iran. So if you can't see that, here you are, you're out in the streets ranting and raving, doing whatever, burning stuff, looting, at the bequest of all these people. You're carrying the water for them. You're doing their dirty work. Have you stopped to think why? Have you, like I said, go somewhere by yourself. Go get some sunshine, fresh air, go somewhere, go on a picnic, and think about what you're doing and why. without somebody sitting next to you, some, radical type person filling your ears with stuff that they don't even know why they're doing. They're just young and dumb and full of bullshit and smoking dope or whatever. And, society, man, and blah, 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 all this and everything. During the Vietnam War, there was a clear-cut thing they wanted out of the war. The war was wrong. Here, what are you doing? Some criminals killed some cops killed some criminals. We have a system. If it was unjust or whatever, we have a system now. Look at that. Just name some things he has done, policy-wise, that you should hate him for. What? I'll tell you one. I just heard they'll sell to you why you should be against Trump and everything, and that's climate change. Just heard some guy, talking about the hurricane and this and that, and that him leaving the Paris Accord and this and that and everything. We need to get back into that. We need to get rid of him. We need to get back into that and be serious about putting restrictions and this and that and everything on industry and all these types of things. Hey, I'm all for doing what we can to protect the environment in a rational manner. Getting into bad deals and stuff that aren't going to do a damn thing to change climate. All it is hindering our nation. Because there's plenty other nations out there who are still going to get to pollute and stuff and everything. Like India and China, flat out said, no, we're still going to keep using coal and fossil fuels like crazy because it's cheap and it's what we can do. And that's the thing. You talk about wanting to go all electric in this country and everything. You will kill us. You will absolutely kill us. Until you get a means where it's economically feasible, like by using hydrogen or whatever, you will absolutely kill us. Because as long as it's more expensive and this and that, industry won't be able to compete in the global market. These other countries will kill us. Your jobs will go away. The cost of electricity will go sky high. You name it. You're not thinking. People are throwing slogans and ideas out there at you, and you're not being asked to look at the whole thing, the whole picture. So this guy's like, we need to be serious about doing things to, stop our greenhouse gases and climate change and all this and everything. And I'm going to prove to you right now they're talking out of both sides of their mouths. Sports, athletics, baseball, basketball, football, you name it. Any kind of sports. Look at all these leagues. All that fossil fuel they are burning to go and play these games all over the country and the world. All those fossil fuels being burned by people to go to the games. College, pro, you name it. Anybody here want to do away with the NBA because it's bad for climate? Let me hear you. You said be serious. You said be serious. We do not need basketball to survive on this planet. You do, however, need some industries that need to burn fuels. You need these trucks out here to make sure people in this country and around the world can eat. So if we're going to take a serious look at climate change, it seems reasonable and common sense to me. Let's start doing away with the things we don't need to survive first. So that means the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, concerts, all the stuff that you're missing during COVID go away permanently. You understand that? They go away permanently. No more teams traveling back and forth across the country, burning all that jet fuel and all that bus fuel. No more fans flocking to the stadium and traffic jams and everything, burning all that fossil fuel. This guy said, well, we need to be serious. I guarantee you they will never put this forward as part of the plan to control climate change. Never. Ever. Because they would lose the support of the people that they sell all this shit to. But that's scientifically, you prove me wrong. Does it make sense to get rid of the things that we don't need to survive first, or to go and attack the things that give people livelihood and industry that provides food and goods and medical equipment and all this type of stuff, energy to homes so people have electricity, this and that? Does it make sense to go and attack all of them, or should we get away? Hey, you know what? Skiing is not necessary for survival. So all the ski slopes have to close, and we're going to save all that fossil fuel of everybody taking off for ski season, going skiing. You know what? Your vacation in Fiji, you Hollywood people so worried about global warming, your vacation in Fiji and the jet fuel burn to get there is not necessary. It is not necessary for our survival. That gets canceled. You want to get serious about climate change and restricting the burning of fossil fuels? Let's get serious. Let's talk the real deal here. Quit talking out of both sides of your mouths and spewing your bullshit. And you're outraged because Trump got us out of the Paris Accords and this and that. But you're going to go jet set halfway across the world. Fuck you. Fuck you, you moron. You hypocrite. Fuck you. You're going to go to, as soon as they allow you, you're going to be there watching the Lakers. You're going to be right there, burning that gas, trying to get to the game. As soon as Taylor Swift can go on tour again, you're going to be out there going to her concerts. You people on it doesn't matter. Rap, country, rock, whatever it is. I like music. I like going to concerts. But if you want to be serious about, hey, then we got to get down to what's necessary and what's not necessary. What? Gonna take off and go to the beach? No, I'm sorry. You're not. That's not necessary. We have to save the planet. I got paper straws for my soda when I bought soda today in Oregon. Woohoo! That's gonna save it. Oh, them people that push for them paper straws and stuff, guaranteed flying up and down I-5 going somewhere, or running out to the Columbia River Gorge, guaranteed somewhere something. Same stuff with people push for charging for bags and stuff in California and all the stuff they got going on there. Bet you they're flocking to the. You ever been to California? Don't matter if you're the Bay, LA, or something. Every weekend, people from the Bay shooting down south. People from Los Angeles shooting up to the Bay. People from Los Angeles shooting for the mountains. Bay shooting for the mountains. Every weekend. So concerned about climate change. You got to have paper straws and paper bags. No more plastic. This and that. So concerned about everything. Burning all that friggin' gasoline every single weekend. Every weekend. And the freeways and stuff are so jammed up because they won't spend any money on the roadways because it might, disturb some tree squirrel somewhere or something like that. They won't widen them or they don't have the money to improve them. This and that. Same thing in Oregon. COVID was nice in Portland. You know why? You could get from Washington, from down out of Seattle down through Portland and all that. Whew, no problem at all. Lots of parts of the country. It was really nice. No cars on the freeway. We all made great time. It's kind of spooky here and there. Like something out of a Stephen King novel. Like, where'd all the people go? But on the other hand, it was nice. No cars. No having to slam on your brakes for some idiot getting on the freeway, talking on his friggin' cell phone. All that kinds of crap. Doing 40 miles an hour and down the middle of the freeway. you know, which saved us a lot of fuel. It really did. During COVID, all these places where everyone was staying home and off the toll roads and off the freeways and stuff and everything, we made better time and got better fuel mileage. Less stop and go driving. Improving your freeways would do a whole lot to curtail the burning of fossil fuels. I think hydrogen is going to be the next go-to when the technology and stuff gets there. But until you can make it feasible and make it work, where we can still compete with the rest of the world in a global economy, you're all pissing in the wind. Every single last one of you, you're pissing in the wind. Sounds great, you're pushing whatever you are. Maybe you got some small startup company and you want to push for more solar or whatever, this and that. Hey, I don't know if they still do, but solar panels used to have a lot of benzene in them, known to cause cancer. So whether you do these big solar farms or you put it in on every single house and everything, are we looking at another asbestos or like lead in the paint type deal years down the road? Oh my God, look at this. Who could have thought of this? That these things would become such a threat to us and to the environment. What do we do with all these solar panels with benzene in them? Can't just throw them in the trash dump. Can't throw them in the ocean. What do we do with them all? Plus these big solar farms and stuff and everything, you're killing birds. They're vaporizing birds. You know, where they shoot the rays up towards one central point. You're killing birds left and right. Same with the windmills. You're killing birds. I'm sure them windmills have some PCBs and shit in them somewhere. I know they all got 40 gallons of oil in them. Plus, to maintain them things, you got to send crews out there to burn fossil fuels and all this. It takes fossil fuels to burn them, to make them. Same with solar panels. So, you know, you really need to sit down and do all the math. You know, how much energy and fossil fuels does it take to make solar panels? Is the energy they give back and save greater than what it costs to make them? Because if not, you're pissing in the wind. You're like a dog chasing your tail. You got to look at the payback and how long the paybacks take and everything, if there is a payback. It's one thing we got to do something about this. And look at that plant over there. Look at the smoke coming out of there. Hey, Jack, maybe that's really polluting less than you and all your buddies jet setting around the world. It's at least producing something. So, you know, we got to take all these things into consideration. And these people are just playing games of politics. So I'll get back to, you know, rolling the rock up the hill. And about moving forward in life and everything. And why you're carrying what water you do. And for who. So let's look at slavery. That seems to be a big thing. The history of slavery. Tragic thing, the way people were treated and stuff, you know. At the time, slavery was not outlawed, but decent treatment of, you know, if you go back to biblical times and this and that, there's always been slavery. There's still slavery going on now in the world, unfortunately. There is slavery right now. You're making yourself a slave to the marijuana growers. Because you know what? All these politicians who push for that shit and everything and tell you they're going to give you free stuff and all that and want you to have legal drugs and all that so you don't go to jail and all that, they're all invested in that. Most of them are probably in the growing of it or the dispensaries of it and everything. So they don't care if you go sit and turn your brain to mush as long as you're going to vote for them. They don't care. They're the dealers. They're the plantation owners. You're giving them your money, which is the same as a slave owner getting labor from a slave. You're giving them your money. They're going to take off and go to Fiji. You're going to sit on the couch, eat your macaroni and cheese and Twinkies, get fat and stupid and diabetic. Like I said, they don't care. You know, and it's like I said before, Wall Street technically doesn't care if illegals come in here and take all our jobs. As long as they're making their profits. Hell, they can wall off the financial district down there. They probably have no problem doing that. Let the whole rest of the country go to shit. Let the immigrants come in, take over all the jobs and stuff. But anyway, going with slavery there. There's a lot of African Americans who are just flat out angry at white people and think all white people are racist because of slavery. You know, there's, what's his name, Shabazz, whatever, you know, stand on a street corner, you're gonna have to kill white babies, you have to kill these crackers, this and that. You got Farrakhan spewing his stuff. There is a lot of hatred. Have you ever asked yourself, why do you hate white people? Were you a slave? White people ever done anything to you? Were all white people slave owners? No. Most white people didn't come to this country till after the World Wars. Didn't have nothing to do with slavery. So here you are, you're carrying this water. You hate Whitey. You hate him. He's responsible for everything. He's oppressing you, even though I don't see where you're being oppressed. You can go get a job like anyone else. You're free to travel the country. You're free to leave the country if you don't like it here. It's like anyone else. You want to see oppression? Look at countries, North Korea and Mexico and other places. You're not oppressed here. Sorry, not where you can go get public assistance, state assistance to pay your bills, get an EBT card, go buy legal weed, drive through Mickey D's and get you some munchies. You're oppressed? Look at all people starving around the world. You're oppressed? Blow me, bitch. You ain't oppressed. So I'm asking you, who's put it in your head that you got to hate white people? You know, we heard Obama's spiel and all that stuff and how the police are wrong and doing this and you know, struggle being black in America and all this type of stuff. Hear all that and everything. That put it in your head you need to hate white people? That you need to hold on to slavery? Is that the rock you're pushing up the hill? Is that why you're gonna have to stay angry and mad at society for the rest of your life? Is that why you can't find no peace? Is because you're still pushing that slavery rock up the hill to roll back down and start all over again, or to pass on to another generation? I'm just asking. Maybe you have valid reasons. Maybe you think you have valid reasons. Maybe I'm off cue here, but I'm asking. I really do. I gotta, you know, because at the drop of a hat, any type of thing goes wrong. Like I said, you blame all of white society. You know, you can even go back to when Martin Luther King got shot. All white people didn't shoot Martin Luther King or want him dead, but the riots that went on in the cities, and it's more understandable for that than it is for George Floyd. I'll tell you that. I can understand outrage and anger and stuff, things happening over Martin Luther King. But even in that case, you went out to destroy stuff and burn and loot and stuff like that. But when one black person does something to a white person or something like that happens, kills them, do we go out and do we loot and all that kind of stuff, or do we let the law handle it and the process handle it and stuff? That little kid was shot over in the Carolinas by a black guy for no fucking reason. Shot him in the head right in front of his sisters. No fucking reason. Did we go on a rampage? No. George Floyd, a criminal, had fentanyl and meth in his system, was a career criminal in his 40s. Dies while in police custody, because it's still not proven if what the cop was doing killed him or not, or if he's going to freaking die anyway. He could have COVID, been dying from it with the meth and the fentanyl in the system. But hey, it's time to burn and loot and everything. This guy in Wisconsin, hey, had a knife. His girlfriend or his fiance, whoever she was, called the cops because he was there, he was being violent, and he wasn't supposed to be there. So she calls the cop to defend herself She calls the police. The police get there. He scuffles with them. He has a knife and everything. He gets shot, and it's time to burn stuff and loot and everything like this, and fuck Whitey. It's racist America, fuck Whitey and all this. And the news media and Dim Limon goes along with it, and all these people go along with it and encourage the misinformation more and everything. And so I'm asking you, have you ever sat down and thought, is your hatred valid? Who are you carrying water for with your hatred? Why are you still pushing that rock up the hill about slavery? There's a song by Bruce Springsteen. I can't think of it off the top. Here's what sucks about getting old: brain farts. I used to know everything he did by. Is it In Darkness on the Edge of Town? What's it in? Anyway, it's about. And it could be any issue, I guess, anything. And it's the same thing with pushing the rock up the hill. Hey, it could be about slavery. It could be about what's holding you back. Are you still, did somebody break your heart once? Are you dragging that around with you? Is that the rock you're pushing up the hill? What's that? Unrequited love? It can be anything. That rock can represent anything in that mythology. What's holding you back? Why are you constantly pushing that rock up the hill? Maybe you don't need to. Maybe you should never start pushing it up the hill. Maybe you should stop pushing it up the hill. You know, some people have their hearts broke or something, have a bad relationship one time, and they drag that with them for the rest of their lives. So, and that's the same thing with slavery. Can be with anything. You drag it with you. You're dragging it with you. You got this baggage. You're dragging it with you, and that's the line in the Springsteen song is about how people drag it with them. They drag it with them every step that they take until they just cut it loose. Cut it loose or it'll drag them down. You see what I'm saying here? Who are you carrying water for and why? What is the cause? Why? Is it going to drag you down? Is it holding you down? Is that what your oppression is? Is self-inflicted? I'm asking you this to think about it. I think it's a valid question that everybody needs to check themselves once in a while and say, what's my life about? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? So with respect, and here's how this ties into other religions, I said, so I'll bring it up real quick. So like Jesus, peace be upon him, said, don't store up treasure on the earth, store it up in heaven. Because you store it up on earth, it's where thieves get in and this and that. So he's showing you about materialism and greed, I guess, and everything. But he's also pointing out that you don't take any of it with you. You know, LeBron James, Oprah, Bill Gates, whoever, all you rich, famous people, you're not taking it with you. You're not even taking your name, anything, your status, nothing with you from this life. How do you store treasure in heaven? Is good deeds. So your name, your wealth, your fame, ain't none of that. God's going to look at your good deeds, and that's found in the Quran. Same thing. The only thing you take with you are your deeds, your faith and your deeds, your actions. That's it. Bible, when the books are open. So also you can tie in if that rock is materialism and wealth and the things you strive for in this world and the things that hold you back in this world from seeking what is right. Remember, Jesus said, seek and you will find. He's talking about seeking God. God has said, seek him. I know also it says God is unknowable and this and that, but at the same time he says he wants you to know him, etc., but that he's unknowable. Yes, his grandness, his completeness and everything is unknowable to us, but we can know him through the messengers he sent, and we can know him to some degree. I used to think that was a big contradiction until I thought about it. Wait a minute, you're telling us to know us, but then you're telling us we can't know you. What's going on? So I think that's my take on it anyway. Anyhow, and also, you're told to seek and you'll find, but you're told that you can't know him. So that means you can be seeking. He's going to wait for you to be seeking. He's going to see you seeking and how serious you are and this and that. And you might not find him even though you're seeking. You know why? Because he's unknowable, so you're going to have to wait for him to reveal. Just like Moses asked him to reveal this and that. So that's part of him. You can seek and not know him. You can't. So it says you can't know him. Maybe that's also telling you he has to reveal himself to you. Okay, and in many ways, and when you study different scriptures and stuff and start putting things together and you're really seeking and stuff, concepts and thoughts will come through your head that you never realized before, and I believe that's him revealing himself. Anyhow, I'll leave that all to you. But also, like in the Quran, it says, from the cradle to the grave, it is riches you have desired. And if anybody wants some wisdom, and wisdom is, you know, some people think it's this woo, ethereal. You got to get to some stuff, maybe. You got to get to some transcendental thing. It's just education. If you want some wisdom, start at the back of the Quran, the shorter verses. There's a lot of good things there explain this life, and one of them is from the cradle to the grave, your hearts have desired riches. And I'm paraphrasing here, and I'm hoping not to misquote. It's been a while since I've read those passages, but it says, surely if you had known the truth, you would have seen the fires of hell. But it has to do with riches. So if you tie that into with what Jesus said about, you know, treasure here on earth, stored in heaven and stuff, you can see a concept. And even from Buddhism, Buddhism talks, you know, about a lot of the misery and stuff and everything is self-inflicted. You'll find the same thing in the Quran. A lot of man's troubles are his own because he creates them for himself through our desires and this and that. And it's not just like desires we act on. It's about wanting more of the material world instead of the spiritual world and of God. So if you put that into Buddhist perspective, it also fits because if you lose your desires for all these types of things in this world, you will stop being unhappy because you don't have them. You understand? So that could be the rock too. All right. Wish you all the best out there. I hope that helped some people and made you think. I really want to know, who do you carry the water for and why? What and if it's something from the past that you're dwelling on and that you find that's your cause and you keep doing it, is it something that's been put on you that is unfair for you to remember? Jesus said about those who put burdens on you, they themselves won't bear. Who are you carrying the water for and why? Is it holding you back? Do you need to just cut it loose before it drags you down and go on with your life? I'm asking you to think. Think for yourselves. All right, wish you the best out there. Be safe. Adios.